Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to my guest today. We have from Northborough, Angela Brunson Bartlett. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
She is the general manager of Home Instead Senior Care. And with everything going on now, it isn't our grandparents' world anymore, or even our parents. You know, when so many would go a lot more often into the nursing home, now, if you can do it, you can choose to stay at home.
That's right.
Tell us about Home Instead.
Yes, so Home Instead, our philosophy is that we want to help people remain in their home and healthy and safe. And that home can be defined as their actual home. It can be an assisted living residence, and it can be a nursing home setting.
I didn't know it could be all three.
Yes, so wherever they are at that moment in time, we will meet them there and help to enhance their lives and make them safe and healthy and continue to do the things they'd like to do. It's really about promoting independence.
You know, I never looked at it that way. I always thought that Home Instead would be in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But it branches out. Once they're in a nursing home, do you ever get any, not from the clients, but from the staff, what are you doing here? They're fine?
You know, I think sometimes there's a little misunderstanding about our role and what we're there for, and it just takes a little bit of education between our staff and their staff. Often, in a nursing home setting, we're there as a friendly visitor. Many family members live out of state. They can't come and visit as often as they'd like. So it's an opportunity for that one-to-one connection between our caregiver and the client. You know, maybe it's a walk outside, maybe it's somebody reading to you, maybe it's just someone engaging in something that you are particularly interested in.
Do you first of all, I'm a little bit off, but I love reading. I mean, do you find that a lot of the seniors can't read to themselves so much, and they do need people to read to them?
You know, we have many seniors who take advantage of books on tape and audio books, and of course now with technology you can tune into things like Audible and things like that.
Yeah.
And our caregivers are helping more and more with that, so that when we're not there, they can still participate in the activities they enjoy doing.
Well, I found out that cataracts are not just for the over 70 group. That can happen at any age out there. So I was surprised to find out. It's getting funky on one side, blurry, and I thought, this is ridiculous. So I went to the eye doctor, and guess what? I said, you got to be kidding. It's too soon. No. Anytime. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And it could be from your mother or father or whatever. I think my brother had it 10 years earlier than mine showed. So, but now, it's been in existence, Home Instead Senior Care, for 20 years?
Yes, we just celebrated our 20th anniversary last week. Yes, our particular office, Home Instead, actually began in 1994 in Omaha, Nebraska. And our office, which is a franchise, opened in 97.
And you're in Northborough.
Northborough.
What's your address over there in Northborough?
386 West Main Street.
Okay, so I know she was explaining to me, it's heading in the Shrewsbury direction.
Yes, it's
down Route 20, which is
right.
Main Street.
Yes.
And where there's that big chicken.
Yes, the chicken that used to be there for Agway, still there.
Yeah.
We're across the street from the chicken.
Now, you'd be on the right-hand side coming that way.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a big sign there that people will know?
It's in an office building called Pendleton Square, and there is a sign out front.
Okay.
Home Instead Senior Care.
All right, so let's say you have a senior parent, and they can be either at home, in a house, or in a nursing home, which floors me. I thought once you're in there, nobody can have, or in assisted living,
right.
You can come in and help out.
Yes. Assisted living is a little bit of a misnomer. Though they can provide you with a safe environment, meals, and socialization, often they're not really staffed to assist with activities of daily living that a person may need.
Yeah.
They're great facilities out there, but our organization can provide the extra support that somebody might need.
I know that I got a surprise. I was going to give a presentation about memoir writing, which I do. I'm a memoir ghostwriter. And I went to one in Shrewsbury, and it's a beautiful place. I was under the assumption that when they said, yeah, they would gather some people there, that they would be able to understand what I was saying or catch on. But within 5 minutes, I knew this isn't going to work out, because these poor they stared at me. They didn't know who I was or really what I was doing. So I got a whole different take on it.
Yeah. You know, there are folks who are living in those communities who are active and you know, certainly cognitively clear, and as they're aging in place, you know, things start to fall off. The ability to engage in activities, the ability to converse with confidence with their peers. So, you know, we see those people who tend to withdraw and they stay in their apartments, and that's where someone like Home Instead is perfect. Yes.
So you would come. Let's say my parents were alive, or one of them. Again, you can call from anywhere, the house, the assisted living, or nursing home. Say, let's say Dad's at home, and let's say I was busy all day, you know. But I didn't want to just hire a stranger to come in and watch over things. I've heard too many bad stories about that. So I could call Home Instead.
Yes.
And then what would happen? I can request what Dad needs.
Sure. So we begin with an initial assessment. One of our nurses would go out to meet with your dad, and preferably you, because there may be things that come out of that assessment that you're surprised about. You know, he may say, you know, I'm frustrated that I can't get to my card group that I used to, or, you know, I would like to do this activity, things that maybe he hasn't confided to you. And also there are things that you are concerned about that maybe he might not identify, like perhaps you're concerned about his nutrition, or that you want to be sure that the laundry is done.
That it doesn't fall. How can we be?
Right, exactly. So, you know, in a consultative assessment where we're getting information from all parties, we can put together a care plan. And that plan is designed to ensure that the senior is getting what they want and that the family is comfortable, to ensure that their loved one is well cared for.
So what are some of the things you can cover?
We can do socialization, of course, light housekeeping, laundry. Meal prep is a big thing for folks. To ensure that they're getting good nutrition only helps to promote good cognition. We can take them to doctor's appointments, provide transportation for them, and then we can also help with personal care, things like showering, dressing, overnight assistance.
Yeah, that's something that I wouldn't want to assist my dad with his showering or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not something his daughter, I don't know, maybe with Mom, but if Dad was alive, I would want a gentleman coming in to help him out, or a nurse, so somebody with some training.
Well, you make a very good point. You know, a lot of our children of our clients want to be kids. They want to be the daughter, they want to be the son. They don't want to step over that line and become the hands-on caregiver.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be embarrassing. Not so much with my mom, but for my dad. I mean, it's almost like a respect thing. It's like I don't want him to think, oh God, Jan's going to come in and take care of my toiletry issues. And things like, no. And I would have to assure him that's not going to happen, Dad. So these are really cool things that you offer. Now, does insurance cover this?
That's a good question. Our service is private pay, and all non-medical care is private pay. There is a product on the market called long-term care insurance. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that will reimburse for non-medical home care services, and we can help with that process. There are some other programs available to seniors that are state subsidized, but you have less control in those. You know, with a private pay model, you decide what time the person shows up, what you want the person to do with your parent, and you're really the driver. You're the consumer. So you get to dictate how the care is going to be.
I'm thinking about income level. Not everybody can afford a whole lot. What I'm thinking of, is there a payment plan? If you have a steady client, can they have a payment plan where they monthly They send a monthly payment.
Unfortunately, we don't have that kind
So
of.
they got to pay up front.
They're paid, we bill for our services after they have been provided.
Okay.
So,
All right, so it's a bill that comes in.
Twice a month we bill for services.
Twice a month.
Mhm.
Okay. Are they really taking away Meals on Wheels? Is the government doing that? Where did I hear this?
There has been a lot of talk about that for a while, and it's simple budget cutting, right?
Not that way in my book, boy. You don't do that. These people need that service.
They do need that service, and it's often the Meals on Wheels person who's the only person a senior is seeing.
Yes, and they can tell if something isn't right.
That's true.
Maybe the mail hasn't been picked up,
That's
or
true.
nobody's coming to the door.
Exactly. So it is an essential service in our mind, and we hope that they will not cut the program.
Boy, I hope so too, because when I heard about it, I nearly fell on the floor. I'm like,
Yeah.
of all things to take money from, well, obviously I'm very, you don't take it from Medicaid. You don't take it from the people who genuinely need this.
Yeah.
What? Take it from the ones who don't need it, and have them help
Yeah.
out. That's the way I see it. But boy, when I heard Meals on Wheels might be exited, I thought, what are they going to do? What are you going to
Yeah.
do then? What's the alternative? Certainly, your company
Sure.
can help out.
Sure.
You can take over, but Meals
It's-
on Wheels is free, isn't it?
It's not free, no. It is subsidized by the state, and there are all sorts of programs that help with that funding.
Yeah.
And I think that the senior tends to pay a small nominal fee to kind of contribute to it. Many of our clients say that, I don't want to speak bad of Meals on Wheels, but many of our clients say, I don't really like the food. And that's where, a caregiver from home instead can really help, because they can, talk about what your favorite meal is, take them to the grocery store, do that meal planning, and prepare the food.
Yeah.
We do a lot of future meal prep, things where people can pull out a meal and heat it up on their own.
I like that a lot. I know that I was helping with some people, and for one family, I made like a chicken dinner with the baked chicken, and I think I did rice or potatoes, and I brought a salad. And they could live off that for a couple of meals. I mean, there was
Sure.
more than enough for this couple.
Sure.
Another person I helped out, I just wanted chicken, so I made some chicken with nothing fancy on it, because of the way she was eating.
Yeah.
So I made just like that, and there was enough, I think, probably for another meal too. I think what you're offering is wonderful. How can people reach you? How can they get a hold of Home Instead?
Sure. So you can always reach us at our phone number, which is 508-393-8338. You can also find us on the web, which is homeinstead.com.
We're talking with Angela Brunson Bartlett, and she's the general manager at Home Instead Senior Care. How long have you been working there? I was kidding her about how long.
I've been there for 16 years.
And I said to her, what were you, 10 when you started? She looks so young. I'm like, did you go to college? Did you major in anything?
My degree is in sociology.
Oh, that's going to work beautifully. Did you know
Yes.
you would do anything like this?
No, of course, like every college graduate, you have no idea what your future is going to be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I kind of stumbled into this position and haven't looked back. It's been wonderful.
And you came in 16 years ago. What were you doing before that?
I was working in the medical industry before that.
Aha, so you got a pretty good take on all this.
Yeah.
So you found out about the position, you went in, you got it. Did you have to start out actually participating as a server, somebody who went in and sat with the seniors and did things?
Well, that's a good question. In the old days, we were a lot smaller administratively, and if a caregiver couldn't go or called out and we couldn't find a replacement, we went.
You went.
Yes. So that is a very educational experience, to be the caregiver yourself and to experience what it's like to help another person.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah, I know. I was a little kid, practically an only child. My brother was long gone, he's a lot older, but I grew up around adults. So I knew and I saw them aging in place. My great-grandmother into her 90s and grandpa into his 90s. I mean, I saw this. So I had a pretty good take on getting along and what they enjoyed and being able to communicate at a very young age. I think not everybody knows how, and if you've got that ability, you should be calling her to
It's
help out.
definitely, actually, that is the biggest challenge our industry faces,
Yeah.
is finding enough caregivers. And if you have some spare time and you want to do something where you feel like you're making a difference, please call us.
What would be the average hours that somebody would work?
You know, some of our caregivers work only a few hours a week. They have one client they've been connected to for years, and
They're
they
bonded.
just continue to
Yeah.
do that, which
Yeah.
is great. And then we have people who this is their career. They work 40 hours a week, and they've taken extra training, and they continue to improve their skill set, and this is their job,
And they love it.
and they love it.
Do you have to be a certain age to be?
You have to be at least over the age of 18.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's no age limit.
No.
In fact, our oldest caregiver is 80.
I was just going to say, you really, I've talked about this before, if you look at, not a happy subject, I know, but the obituaries, I always call out to my husband, oh my God, 100, 90s,
Yes.
it's not the same anymore.
It's not. No,
I
it's
love
not.
it. I think it's great.
And you know, if we have a very active 80-year-old who wants to spend a few hours a week being a companion to someone who is really her contemporary, it's perfect. It's perfect for them both. They're both getting something from it.
Is it harder to find a gentleman volunteer, you know, and maybe a senior man who would like some company or play cards? Oh, it's okay that a girl comes, you know, a woman comes, but is it harder to get the guys to step up?
Years ago, it used to be tougher. Fewer men were pursuing it, and now we're seeing more and more men, older men, who've had their career. They've done, you know, their core job, if you will, and now they're looking for something that gets them out of the house a few hours a week, and that they feel good about.
I like it. Do you actually match? I love this type of thing. Do you match them up with the personality and the needs of that person?
Yes,
That's
that
gotta
is
be
a
the
big
fun part.
part of our business,
Yeah.
is trying to figure out who's going to be the right fit.
Yeah.
It is a little bit like matchmaking.
Like that. I really
Yeah.
do. I mean, you're thinking, okay, about how many clients do you have right now? Let's see,
We have about 215 clients right now.
That's good.
Yes.
And they are regulars?
yes, yes.
That's really
yes.
good. And maybe per month, how many do you think you get new? Maybe one or two? Or?
That's a good question. You know, often, because our business is quite volatile, you know, people get sick, they go into the hospital, their situation changes. We bring on probably 10 to 15 new clients a month.
That is amazing.
lot.
I wouldn't think you would be.
Yeah.
That is, I'm glad for you. That is really good. And still need more gentlemen, more men to come in.
Yes.
And you don't have to be, they don't have to be retired senior, do they?
No, not at all.
They could be
No.
somebody who, maybe he's a CEO of something or whatever, and he has
Sure.
a couple of extra hours or so maybe,
Yeah.
and he was like, gee, I'd like to go and talk with an older guy who can't get out, or he wants to play cards, or he wants to go to the doctor, the library,
Right.
because a lot of people do not have a computer, believe it or not.
It's true.
And so I see people in my own generation sometimes sitting over there at the library on the computer, and I'm thinking, that's okay. Not
Yes.
everybody has one.
Yes.
But to most of us, it's like, but she says, well, I don't happen to have one at home. Because she's never home. She was always working. That's how she logs into her jobs. Would never occur to me.
yeah.
Never. Do a lot of the people that you provide the service for with Home Instead Senior Care, do they have computers, or can you bring a laptop if you're a volunteer to be with them?
You know, more and more of our seniors surprisingly have iPads. And we are getting more requests for, you know, adult children will say, can you help my mom set up her iPad so that her out-of-state children or grandchildren can communicate with her. So we are doing, surprisingly, a little IT training.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course the caregivers are excited to do it, and you know, let me help you log into your email, and let's see if you've gotten a response from the email you sent to your grandson. And it's a wonderful interactive experience that connects seniors to people that they aren't seeing every day.
Angela, again, how can people reach you over there?
You can call us at 508-393-8338 or reach us on the web at homeinstead.com.
What is the one that you provide? What do you think of all the services you provide seems to be the most popular? The one they gravitate the most to?
Most seniors don't think they need help.
Oh, that was my father. I'm going down with the boat, and he
Right,
did.
right. They want to
Oh, yeah.
be independent.
Yeah.
So usually the first two issues that they are willing to admit they're having trouble with is the laundry, because in New England, everyone's laundry is in the basement.
I don't know what he did with the laundry when Mom was in the hospital all the time. I don't know. I didn't even think to check. I was so worried seeing him sit there, looked like he was sick.
Yeah, and driving. Driving is the second issue that they tend to say, okay, maybe I do need some help getting to the grocery store.
Or the doctor.
Yes,
I would think that would be
doctor.
a big one. You know, especially if
Yes.
someone's going to go out to UMass. Let's say they live out here in Upton or Uxbridge or whatever. Having someone to take them who they know, they were beginning to...
Right.
What happens if it's not a match? What do you handle
Yeah,
that?
we want to know that right away. If
Yeah.
it's just not, because sometimes it's not the right personality. And then we replace that person right away.
That's
it
a good
doesn't
thing.
happen often, but sometimes it does.
Who lets you know, who's more tendency to let you know, your client or your volunteer, not volunteer, worker? Who would let you know?
Usually the family.
The family
will call and
catches on.
say, you know, Mom's not crazy about
So-and-so.
Susie, so, and we'll say, that's fine.
And that's it,
Get
that
it.
they will assign
Yes.
somebody new.
That's right.
So the anniversary comes up for Home Instead Senior Care, now, is it already hit?
It's already hit. Last week we celebrated our 20th anniversary.
What'd you do for the celebration?
We had a big party.
Don't
Of
tell me you went to the
course,
restaurant
why
across the
not?
street with a chicken in front of it.
No.
No.
We hosted a party at our office, and it was a great turnout. So we invited people from the community. We have a lot of people who support us,
Yeah.
and that was a wonderful time.
How many branches are there of Home Instead?
So in Massachusetts, there are about 18 Home Instead offices. There are over 1,000 offices nationwide and internationally. There are international locations as well.
That's amazing. And then you were there, you started 16 years ago.
Yes.
You had no idea. When you were in high school, did you know you wanted to do sociology?
No, not at all.
Not at all. You had no clue.
No.
You didn't
No.
know. So where'd you go to school?
Randolph-Macon.
Where is that?
Yeah, that's in Virginia.
So you came in from Virginia to Massachusetts?
Yes.
What drew you up here?
Southern transplant. Well, you know, my sister was going to school here. I had visited this area, and you know, graduating college, you wanted a little bit of a change.
Yeah.
So I moved here, met my husband, and now I'm a Yankee.
Yeah, you know, it's a different world up here. It's a lot slower, isn't it, down there, pace?
The pace of life is a bit slower. People tend to be a little bit more focused on their family and less on their career. But I think that's changing. You know, I've seen a lot of changes there. You know, it's less insular than it used to be.
We're talking with Angela Brunson Bartlett. She is the general manager of Home Instead Senior Care. So just another alternative if you need help. Would you call yourself the CEO?
I don't know that I would consider myself that. You know, our organizational structure is pretty flat. We have, of course, departments. We have a staffing department, a nursing department, a recruiting department. But we all really act as a team, and you know, everybody's responsible at the end of the day about ensuring that the client is well cared for.
What would you suggest to people out there watching, family members who, you know, maybe they need somebody who does need toileting care or cooking, that type of thing? Not necessarily medical. Do you do medications? No.
We remind about medications.
Remind.
Yes.
Okay, that's got to be tough too. I know my father tried so hard in the kitchen for my mother alone, just for her alone. And he had this big chart that he had made, every single detail.
Yeah.
But he wasn't taking care of himself. Do you ever run into that where you've got to help the caretaker?
Absolutely.
Oh.
You know, unfortunately, it is the family caregiver who suffers the most.
Oh, my mother looked like she was dying. We're taking care of my father's father.
Yeah.
Finally, I stepped in. I took a huge risk because I would have gotten a lot of anger thrown at me. You didn't do that. Well, I did. I love my mother. I didn't want to see her die and taking care of Grandpa anymore.
Right.
He was in his 90s. He needed to be in a medical setting. He didn't need to be home with Mom. It was, you don't want to know. It was just awful. You'd hear her crying and moaning at night. But I had to rescue her, literally.
Yeah.
Literally. I couldn't rescue Dad, though. He was going to take care of Mom no matter what. And that's what happened. He died over a year before she did.
Yeah, that is what's tough, is, you know, often the family caregiver, the spouse generally, will put their loved one's care and health before theirs.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he was living on Boost. I walked in, I didn't even know him on the phone. I walked in and we saw him sitting there in his armchair. All it was next to him was like Boost. I'm like, are you eating?
Yeah.
But I said, let me call the EMTs, or you're sick. Oh, I said, well, look, if you're going to be really sick, call them first, and then someone will get a hold of me, okay? You take care of yourself first. He never went home. He went out into the parking lot to go visit Mom in the hospital. I guess he passed out.
Oh, jeez.
And a neighbor had someone call in the ambulance to come, and
Yeah.
Dad never went home again.
Oh, gosh.
And he was the strength, you know?
Yeah.
So it just shows to go, that
Yeah.
you can't think that you are.
Well, yes, and if he had had some extra support that really was supporting him to support her.
I know. Well, I was there, but
Yeah.
it was, you know, those of us kids, we know our parents, and with Dad, you didn't cross the line
Right.
too much. At that age, I didn't want him to get angry.
Sure.
Of all things, I wanted him to be, take it easy.
Right.
Just,
And I hear that often
Yeah.
from our family members. I know my parents need help. I'm offering these solutions. I don't want to push it.
Yeah.
And it is a delicate situation.
Maybe that's why it's so good to have someone else come in and say,
Yes.
gee, or someone say, gee, I hear you like poker or rummy. And maybe the elder person will say, yeah, how'd you know? Well, I met your daughter, or
Right.
I met your son, which is true, it's not a lie, you met somehow,
Yes,
you connected.
yes.
I heard about this, would you like somebody to come in and keep you company? I've got a volunteer who's aching to play with someone. That's how I would do it.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
definitely, because with my father, you couldn't have gone right through the front door and said, well, you need help, and here comes somebody.
Right.
I would have said, geez, I got this guy about your age, a little younger, he needs your help. Would you be
Right.
willing to help with him?
And we have been creative in
Yeah.
situations like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes the caregiver is a volunteer, sometimes they're a person from the local church, sometimes they're, the daughter's best buddy, even though, they met 10 minutes ago.
All right, well, Angela, we've got to close, but how again can they reach you over there?
You can reach us at 508-393-8338 or on the web at homeinstead.com.
Excellent. Angela, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And now I know where you are.
Yes.
I mean, that big chicken across the street
from
over
the
in
chicken.
Northborough, up on Route 20, heading for Shrewsbury.
That's
You
right.
see the big chicken where Amway used to be. I thought it was the restaurant, but it was Amway. And then you're right across the street, and there
Right.
is a sign there. And it's in that kind of a bluish, grayish building.
Pendleton Square.
Okay.
You'll find us there.
You will. And you'll send somebody over, or somebody, even if somebody just needs help with a meal or two, you might send them.
Ideally, we'd like to have an ongoing relationship, but absolutely, we're there to help.
We're open. We got to be open today to all different kinds of help. A lot
That's
of people
right.
are entrepreneurs. They're starting their own or other. There's not enough because let me tell you, the baby boomers and the Gen Xers are coming, and it's
Yes.
humongous group.
Yes.
I mean, it's really astounding. I don't know.
We need caregivers. Yes, we do.
Big time.
Yes.
And then a lot of us have millennial kids, like some of them, and I don't know if they're going to even, oh, Ma, you need help? Oh, yeah, maybe I do,
Yes.
but thank you so much for coming
Thank
on the
you.
show.
It was a pleasure.
We'll see you next time I'll be my guest.